Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to the June 23rd meeting of the Vibrant Bond Executive Committee. We are going to go ahead and get started with public comment. Two housekeeping items. One, we are recording. Two, there is coffee in the back of the room.
Very important.
Very important. All right. We had some technical issues this morning, which is why we got a little bit of a late start here. We apologize for that, but thank you to Jackson and team for figuring that out. Carol too. We also had technical issues last time with public speaking as well, so we may have some additional speakers who were not able to speak last time. We'll try to get them in this time as well. But we're going to start with Yolanda Bluehorse. And reminder, we're trying to hold speakers to 90 seconds. Yolanda Bluehorse. Michael King-Mana. I thought I saw Michael online.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good morning.
Great. Good morning. Thank you so much for the time. I'm a Denver resident and wanted to come on to talk about two things about the Go Bonds initiative. First one being the need for social housing. Denver obviously has a need for more housing, and this is a self-sustainable way to make sure that there is more housing through mixed incomes coming together that can be supported not just by the city, but also just by the residents in a democratic way. I wanted to make sure that that is something that is put on at a high priority. I also wanted to bring up the possibility of using Go Bonds as a queer-specific shelter. Denver is a sanctuary city for LGBTQ people, which is a really amazing thing in these times. It also sort of creates this effect of people from other states coming who identify as LGBTQ have to get away from the things in the states that where they live in, possibly families, and they come to Denver seeking that sort of social and emotional shelter. But then they don't realize how expensive things are. They don't have support here, and they end up on the streets. And so in that way, we sort of have this weird pipeline that's going on. And the least that we can do is have shelters that are specifically cater to people who are queer. Currently, there are none. And the things that go on in shelters in general are not great, but especially for people who identify as LGBTQ, especially for trans people at this time. So I wanted to make sure both of these things, social housing and queer-specific shelters, are things that are put at a high priority for the use of the Go Bonds. And yeah, I think that, I don't know if that's 90 seconds, but that's what I got to say.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. Did Yolanda Bluehorse come on or enter the room? Shannon Hoffman.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, awesome. Good morning, everyone. My name is Shannon Hoffman. I work in Globeville area in Swansea, and I'm a community organizer, especially around issues of housing and wealth redistribution. I'm really excited to hear that there are folks on this executive committee who are excited about housing bonds and social housing bonds. And I understand that there was a document that was sent to you from a group called Share Denver, which overall is a really great and powerful document. There's one amendment or clarification that needs to be made to that document, which is why I wanted to speak, which is that the proposed site in Elaria, Swansea is at 48th and Brighton. That site is a former bus lot and it has methane on it. If you drive past the site, there are poles sticking up out of the ground with fans, and that's releasing the methane into the air, which, by the way, is by people's homes and by a park. And the work of the Globeville Area Swansea Coalition has been for years to get the land at 47th and Brighton back into the hands of community members through the stewardship of their community land trusts. Community land trusts and cooperative housing models are under the social housing umbrella Councilwoman Sarah Parody, when she went to Vienna, commented that in Vienna, their social housing models also include land trusts and cooperatives. And so I would be very hopeful that any kind of social housing bond would also include support for those kinds of cooperative models that also provide ways to redistribute wealth to folks who have been excluded from homeownership. So thank you all for all of your work, and thank you for considering these comments.
Thank you, Shannon. Sue Powers.
Good morning. Sorry about my technical problems last week as well. My name is Susan Powers, and I'm the president of Urban Ventures Real Estate Development Company in Denver. We've been involved with the Sun Valley neighborhood through the development of Steam on the Platte for the last 12 years. And I've watched the dramatic redevelopment of the Sun Valley neighborhood over those years. From the very beginning, the vision of converting the 350 obsolete public housing units into a mixed income neighborhood has included a park as a critical element of having a complete neighborhood. DHA has assembled the property for the park, and now my understanding is that there are over 780 kids living there. With the final buildings coming online, they expect to have about 1,000 kids. Where are they going to play without this park? You know, I can't think of another neighborhood with this kind of density, residential density, where it doesn't have a park for its residents. When HUD made the Choice Neighborhood Grant to the city of Denver and the Denver Housing Authority, the city, there were many partners involved with it, but the city was the strongest partner and has been since then. We need to show Sun Valley, which has always been Denver's poorest neighborhood with the most ethnic and cultural diversity, that they are a treasured part of our community and help build the park and make sure that Sun Valley is itself vibrant. So I urge you to include the Riverfront Park, I think is the name of it now, with the bond issue to make this complete neighborhood one that we all treasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Nola Miguel.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
My name is Nola Miguel. I'm the executive director of the GS Coalition and Tierra Colectiva Community Land Trust, and I'm on the Chaffee Park neighborhood RNO. And I was also on the subcommittee for the Arts and Culture Bond Committee. I just wanted to comment on a couple of things that I've been hearing in the neighborhood and that I feel like are widely supported projects that would encourage the bond to pass. The first one I want to talk about is the Chaffee Park Library and/or Rec Center. I think it would be great to have this combined with housing in Chaffee Park, but hopefully, as you all know, we don't have a library, don't have a rec center, and are really isolated by highways in Chaffee Park. As an ambassador for the neighborhood, I would definitely help get that word out, and I think our neighborhood would be extremely excited to have a public asset, which like we don't have and haven't had for a long time.
In the queue.
Also, can I keep going?
No, keep going. Sorry about that.
I definitely support the social housing bond. I think a revolving loan fund would add another tool to our housing development toolbox that would create more community and collective ownership, and I include the city in that category of collective ownership, and that this type of housing is really critical for what we need in the overall types of affordable housing that we're creating, critical for community stability at this time right now in Denver, and for growth in Denver. In Global Area Swansea, one of the most embedded projects in the neighborhood is the York and Josephine converting the two ways. That's something that was in our neighborhood plans back 10 years ago, and something extremely important. As you may know, they're one way right now, which means that all the heavy, huge, gigantic trucks from Purina and from the UP yards go up Josephine Street, which is a residential street. So converting to two-way, which again is something that was in our neighborhood plan that we've been waiting for a long time. We've done studies on it. It really needs to just happen. This is a critical project for safety. We have tons of kids, people living on Josephine Street. Josephine Street right there is where Betty Krem, who's, you know, a neighborhood leader, the National Western Road is named after her. She lived on that street. She always wanted this converted to a two-way. So really critical for safety. The semi trucks are hitting stop signs. They're super dangerous for children on that street. So those would be the three projects I wanted to mention. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Nola. Donna Lynn?
Where do you want me?
Come up to the podium. Then Mariana, you're next.
Is that okay? I'll
Yeah.
just yell.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning, I'm Donna Lynn, the CEO of Denver Health. Thanks for many of you who are friends and supporters who are here. And I want to talk about the Sam Sandos Westside Clinic. Our request is to have the city support us through this bond initiative for the Sam Sandos Clinic. It is on 11th and Federal, and we see 30,000 patients a year in that clinic. It's an operating clinic. We would build on the parking lot adjacent to that. And the reason why we need to rebuild is that it was built in 1985. We have exam rooms that are at capacity. We have offices in the hallways. We have an HVAC system that does not work and a leaky roof. We can't continue to provide high quality care in those circumstances. And as you've heard, that neighborhood is growing. We are shovel ready. We could begin that work by the end of this year and have it completed by 2027. We've done a number of initiatives with the city, including the Pinion Clinic and our outpatient medical center. And that is a partnership that we cherish and I think is important to the city. Excuse me, Denver Health will provide the majority of the funding for this clinic. That is our commitment, and we in fact have already issued bonds. So all of this work is devoted to that clinic, not to anything on the main campus, which is a separate issue. I've been asked several times, why does Denver Health need this money when you just passed 2Q? I want to be clear. 2Q, first of all, remedied years and years of insufficient investment in Denver Health. Last year, we saw 62,000 Denver residents who have no insurance. That's free. Imagine if a hotel or a restaurant had to see patients for free. So therefore, the uncompensated care that we have through uninsured patients and through Medicaid have to be funded within Denver Health. 2Q was designed for that. It is restricted to operating expenses and restricted to 5 areas: pediatric care, primary care, emergency and trauma care, mental health, and substance use. So the day-to-day services that we provide, often for free for Denver residents, is what 2Q covers. So there's one other word I'd like to use. It's called Trump. And we are facing a huge issue at Denver Health this summer once this big, beautiful bill is passed. We don't have sufficient revenue to cover what will be huge Medicaid cuts. And most businesses finance their capital through making money each year, and then they can put aside some of that to invest. And Denver Health has not had that opportunity. We will have even more serious challenges in subsequent years due to the cuts. So I urge you to consider the importance of serving the West Side community. There are 30,000 patients now in that clinic. Many of them come from throughout the city, and we anticipate that there will be up to 40,000 as we rebuild this clinic. So thank you for the time to present some of our concerns about the financing. Thank you.
Question. Donna, how much are you seeking? And you said that most of it will come from Denver Health. Can you
Yes,
clarify?
thank you. Thank you for that question. So we estimate the cost of rebuilding this clinic, which is 82,000 square feet, is about $115 million. We are requesting $50 million in bond financing from the city.
You'll cover the rest.
And we'll cover the rest. And we've already actually done. So when I say it's shovel ready, it's also finance ready. We did procure some financing through our own private bond that we did back in May, beginning of May.
Thank you.
Thank you.
after Mariana, Gremory Lee is next.
Good morning. Thank you, members of the Executive Committee, for the opportunity to speak in support of the Sam Sandos Clinic, Westside Clinic. I'm part of the group that submitted this project to you all. We are very grateful to Denver voters for their past overwhelming support of Denver Health. We are grateful for the Federico and Cindy Peña Clinic. We are serving many patients there every day, and it's a beautiful facility and one of which we are very proud of. It demonstrates the difference we can make with an efficient and modern clinic. The Sam Sandos Westside Clinic serves people from all over the city of Denver, not just one single district council, as a scatter plot of the patients served shows, and as Donna Lynn just mentioned. They come from all over the city, and, sorry, I lost my place. They come from all over the city. It is one of our oldest clinics and one of our best known. Its proximity to Denver Human Services makes it a one-stop shop for our community members in need. And in order to serve the city, we need to bring this clinic into the 21st century with a modern and efficient facility in order to deliver high-quality care. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Gremory Lee. Andrea Barella. Megan Cranston.
Hello, I am Megan Cranston. I'm also with the Chaffee Park RNO and speaking in support of our rec center or library. As you know, Chaffee Park is a little bit of an isolated neighborhood up here in North Denver, bound by freeways. But within the next 20 years, we'll be experiencing some significant changes with new zoning on the Regis campus and bus rapid transit. So we have very few places to gather as a community and very few places for recreational activities. So anything we can do to get some support from the city and to get some new facilities up here would be wonderful. And I believe we can get full support from the neighborhood and the neighborhood committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Rachel Nikonov. Glenn Harper. Therese Howard.
We gotta step on some cords.
Hi, Glenn.
Good morning.
Hello?
Sorry, we got Glenn Harper first.
Okay.
My name is Glenn Harper. I'm the founder of the Sun Valley Kitchen and Community Center. I'm here to support funding of the Sun Valley Riverfront Park Phase 2 in Council District 3. I've been a part of the Sun Valley community for over 13 years and have experienced all of the planning that's gone into the redevelopment and transformation that's occurring in Sun Valley. The vision for the Sun Valley Riverfront Park was informed by community needs and feedback that initially started during the 2013 Choice Neighborhood Planning Grant that was awarded to the Denver Housing Authority. And then further work went in during the 2016 Implementation Grant. From 2017 to 2020, residents and stakeholders came together to inform the park's programming, design, and purpose. Phase 1 is approximately 5.7 acres and is scheduled to begin construction later this year. When it's complete, Phase 1 will offer many of the park's program elements, including playgrounds, gardens, water features, and a dog park. Phase 2 will be focused primarily on open fields and open space and play fields for young kids and people from the community. There has been over $500 million invested in Sun Valley, and the park is needed to finish this redevelopment, and which was promised to the residents, current and future residents of Sun Valley. This project aligns with the vision of the Vibrant Bond and is ready to be constructed quickly and can be completed well within the 6 years. I moved to Sun Valley in 2014, right across the street from Fairview Elementary. And the first Sunday afternoon that I was there, I witnessed over 50 kids playing in the Fairview playground and ball field. It was one of the most magical things I'd ever witnessed, to see all the kids just out there playing and having a great time. We currently have no open space for kids to play, and the phase 2 of the Riverfront Park will provide the fields and open space that's needed for our kids and community to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Rachel Nikonov.
We're gonna come back to me too, Therese?
Yep. I don't think we have Rachel, so Therese, you're up.
Sorry, am I up?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, confusion. Hello, this is Therese Howard. Sorry, my camera is not working. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, so I would just like to speak briefly in support of the social housing bond. You should have received a document that was referred to earlier from Shared Denver for $100 million revolving loan fund for social housing. And I encourage you all to really take a look at that document and know that this project is shovel ready, as the phrase goes, and is fully in line with the Go Bond spending expectations. This is a project that would not only create an initial set of housing for folks who need it as a top priority in our city, but also would then kickstart an ongoing fund that would be able to be sustainable and continue to create housing. So, you know, if we're talking about priorities in our city, we know that housing is a top priority. It comes up in every sort of circle that we talk about. And you know, to talk about that really directly, as someone who works with people without housing, we're talking about a situation right now, and that has continued for some time, where we do not have real pathways to housing. People are told to get on wait lists, where they wait for 2+ 5 years to get into any sort of housing option if you are low income. This is a critical moment to use this Go Bond Fund to kickstart social housing for all folks in Denver, in particular people who are extremely low income, but the social housing would be for folks of various incomes. So yeah, I just want to really encourage you to please read that proposal. Please put that as a top priority. It is infrastructure. Housing is absolutely infrastructure. It is not, you know, something that is only here for people with money to invest in. It's here for people to live in as a part of being human. Lastly, I just want to make a quick call out for also including both queer shelter and family shelter. These are necessary components of having an emergency place to go if you are without housing, and people who are queer and families particularly without that option right now. So I want to ask that those also be included as a part of the Go Fund funding. I believe that's it, so thank you much.
Thanks, Therese. Maria Flora.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good. I'm with Save Open Space Denver. We've been working on the Park Hill Golf Course land for 8 years now, and I support inclusion of significant money in the Vibrant Denver bond issue for the build out of what we're calling Park Hill Park. The voters showed overwhelming support for a new city park at this location in 3 different citywide votes. The Park Hill Park is also identified as an area of greater need for parks and recreation in our city. Denver will acquire this land later this year. The visioning process is creating enthusiasm for Park Hill Park. But the prior owner has neglected the land and its improvements, including the irrigation and the trashed out house. The land looks sad with dead trees and burned out vegetation. Driving down Colorado Boulevard, you see a testament to the previous owner's disrespect for the Northeast Park Hill neighborhood in our city. The significant bond allocation for the Park Hill Park will create enthusiasm for the bond vote and hopefully bring people to the polls in support of the bond. So please include significant monies for development of the Park Hill Park in the Vibrant Denver bond issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Woody Garnsey? Anna Miller?
Good morning. My name is Anna Miller. I am a houseless rights advocate with House Keys Action Network Denver. I am also a formerly houseless transgender woman. I am here today to ask about if we can include queer sheltering in the bond initiative. As a formerly houseless queer individual, Denver has 0 safe places really for our queer houseless community to go at night. We have one shelter that is a mixed use of for transgender queer people and cisgender women, but only has 30 beds. Our regular shelter system is segregated by gender, leaving people, especially non-binary people, in a position of having to go to a place that is not safe. We are known as a safe city, even in Colorado, comparatively to other cities, as a safe space for queer people. And people are coming here with or without the means to survive, to escape the persecution that we are seeing in other states. And I would just like to see the city, live up to its standards of being an equitable place for queer people, and especially for those who are the most vulnerable. If you do understand, queer people are very, very, very highly susceptible to violence on the streets comparatively to non-queer people. I would also like to ask that we include more family shelter. There's a lot of families that are still on the streets out there. We only have one family shelter for more families than we have space for, and I think we could really be using that. These again are the other most vulnerable group of houseless people out there. And also I would like to push for social housing in the bond initiative. Truthfully, we would not be having to ask for extra shelters and things of that with something like social housing, because social housing creates a pathway to more stable permanent housing. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. I am going to go back to the list and see if anyone that was not online or here before is now here. Woody Garnsey, Rachel Nikonov, Andrea Barella, Gremory Lee, and Yolanda Bluehorse. All right, that concludes the public speaking portion.
I think Ellie's phrase on, and she signed up for public comment.
I signed up for public comment. This is Ann McGeehan.
Hi, Ann. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm also speaking on support of using the significant money in the Vibrant Denver bond issue for the Park Hill build out. It's strategically located south of Colorado Boulevard. I'm sorry, it's strategically, east of Colorado Boulevard and south of I-70. The land is well situated for citywide access as a regional park. As previously said, it's also identified as an area of greater need for parks and recreation, including the Northeast Park Hill neighborhood, Clayton, Swansea, and Gloveville neighborhoods, southwest of Colorado Boulevard. It will provide important environmental benefits for the entire city. It will have an impactful health and recreational benefit for generations of Denver citizens. Bond money is necessary for Denver to jumpstart its once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to create a fabulous new 155-acre regional park in our landlocked city. We know it will take several years until full build-out. Bond money will allow the city as soon as possible to begin implementing the vision for the new park based on the outcome of DPR's public visioning process. The investment needs to happen now because the opportunity may be 4 years or more away. And as previously stated, the land has been completely neglected. It's a horror sight on Colorado Boulevard. So due to overwhelming citywide electoral support for preserving the Park Hill open space, a significant bond allocation for the Park Hill Park build-out will help ensure a successful, vibrant Denver bond vote. Thank you so much.
Question? Hey, Ann, this is Federico Peña. Good morning. Thank you for your testimony.
Good morning.
Quick question. The visioning process that you're involved in, when will that be completed?
I have been out of town, and I think Woody is the person who can answer that best.
This fall. This fall.
This fall, apparently?
This fall.
The reason I ask is I think voters want to know with some precision what's going to go into the park. And so the sooner that visioning process can be completed, I think the better.
Okay, I'll make that heard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ann. It looks like there's
Good morning, this is Ali Sprague. I signed up.
Okay, Ali.
Yeah, good morning. This is Ali Sprague, CEO, President of the Hispanic Contractors of Colorado. To the Executive Committee, thank you for your time. I know you have a long list to consider. I represent our organization, 35-year organization in construction. Advocate represents minority, women, small and veteran-owned businesses in the Front Row area. So there's an important part of this bond because as you can imagine, during the political climate that we have right now, some of our small projects are facing with the uncertainty of some projects being on hold and postponed indefinitely. Some of them are contractors with the government, so they're not seeing any projects coming up. So we like to advocate for the Denver Zoo project that it has been presented in this package, not only because of the investment in the zoo being an institution, not only from Denver, but also from Colorado, but also this being a shovel-ready project. It will put a lot of our contractors to work and keep your workforce employed. As you can imagine, it's also a concern for some of our small, diverse businesses to keep people employed and bring back the impact and the jobs and the investment they give back to the community. So I know you have a lot to consider. I was part of the mobility subcommittee, so I know there's a lot of consideration. The Denver Zoo project is something that excites our members. We have a presentation about it, and some of our smaller contractors are really ready to be part of this. So I appreciate your consideration to this project, and thank you so much for your time and dedication on this bond.
Thank you, Ali. Looks like there's another Evan online who also signed up to speak.
Yeah, that's me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, cool. It's Evan Weissman. I wanted to just talk about the participatory budgeting and urge you not only to move it forward, but to actually add more money, to reallocate money in the bundle that it's with. I think the PB process and it's very successful. And I think it's just underfunded. It's successful in a lot of ways, but one is what we're doing this morning. So probably 70% of the people that are talking, and there's just this dance with community involvement, and PB has been extremely successful. I don't know of a city program demographically with the data that gets more folks who are working class or low income, who are folks of color and geographic representation. And it brings them into the process. It also educates city staff, and so staff all over the world that do PB enjoy this process. It also takes the loudest critics and brings them into the process to see why things might be slower or cost more money. So I think that it also can hit at the feelings that a lot of people have from the last Go Bond and then this one, which is that it feels, not because of anything you all are doing, but it feels like these things sometimes get rushed. And so having good community engagement is extremely helpful, and that's baked into the PB system. And all of the projects that have already gone through the process are mostly infrastructure projects. And so I think that some of the things that money looks like it might be allocated towards in this bundle, I think you could shift those a little bit. And lastly, I'll just say that cities around the world, world-class cities, are funding PB in a much higher level. And I know that Paris, France uses 5% of their total budget goes to participatory budgeting. So I urge you to not only move it forward, but to add money. Thank you.
Thanks, Evan. Okay, I think that now concludes the public speaking portion. What we're going to do next is take a short break, and then the executive committee is going to do a work session. They're going to stay put, but we're going to ask everyone else if they can please give the room to the executive committee. So we're going to take a break for a couple minutes, and then we'll let them reconvene. Thank you.